The number one thing I would say is it can't just be the fact that you're shooting video. You have to have a distribution strategy. And that's where a lot of loan officers get off track because they're like, I'm posting, I'm doing, but nobody's finding you. Well, if you're new to the algorithms and you haven't solidified yourself yet and you don't have the distribution piece of the puzzle planned out, then you may be in that situation where, a lot of people aren't seeing you yet. So distribution is as important as the execution of the video. Are you posting videos, but nobody is paying attention? Does that sound familiar? Like most of the time, it's not really just a visibility problem. It's a distribution problem. It's really just a organization and a consistency problem. So today we're going to kind of dive into video. Why should loan officers be leveraging video to help build their brand and create that awareness of whatever that topic is that you're passionate about? Maybe you're doing one-time close construction. Maybe you're passionate about down payment assistance programs. Video can help position you to be the market expert and help share your knowledge with your community.
You are a pioneer in the space, in my opinion, from a loan officer perspective. One, can you just tee us up with a few stats, like how long you've been doing it, how many views have you gotten, what do you get on a monthly run rate? Kind of let's back up some of this. Tell us the story and tell us the data.
Started in YouTube before it was YouTube, I think. Like I had to be one of the early adopters. So 2013, I shot video, never sent one out. I was mortified. It was a whole thing. But in 2014 is when I implemented a consistent distribution system of sending a video out every week to the real estate community. That was a big part of my marketing, was just exposure and bringing valuable nuggets to real estate agents. So that has grown over the years, and I consistently still do that. So that email goes out 50 weeks out of the year, every year, to the real estate community, and now together with loan officers. I have two YouTube channels, but the one that's grown the fastest is about 5 years old. It's called Mortgage How DY. And over the last 6 months, we've had over 77,000 views on that channel. We've had 2,100 watch hours, 180 new subscribers, and that channel has earned revenue. So I don't do it, necessarily for the money. I kind of just reinvest that back into what it takes for me to execute on the video education platform. But it's eyes. And Jay, when we think about the beauty of video is that's what it does. It really allows you to expand your audience and your knowledge base. And Cornerstone, we lend across the country. So it doesn't even just have to be your local market anymore. If you're bringing content that want to be home buyers or people that maybe have had life happen and they have questions about credit or, it could be a variety of things. If you're passionate about that and you consistently push information out there, people are going to see you. And that really does impact your business. And it has changed my life, honestly, in so many
That's
different ways,
amazing.
just from a mortgage standpoint, but just a brand standpoint. And one of the cool things is just, and this because you do video, but people think that they know you. And I appreciate that because they show up different when they've watched you talk, video. Tell me about your experience. Like,
I think the reason why every loan officer should do it is because we are moving into this information age, right? And there's so much data and there's easy information that people can gather. And I think we are even more so than ever moving into a heightened requirement to be able to gain relationships in an effective way. And what I think video is important for the loan officer is to be able to give an opportunity for people to preview you, get to know you, see that this could be a good fit. Because I find that for the most part, once people are getting to the loan officer, they already have, done their evaluation of them online. And if they have watched a few videos and go, hey, this is a real person, I like their vibe, they have good energy, there's somebody I want to learn from, then they're going to work with them. And I think that if you have that as a way to be able to provide an online resume about who you are as a person, your knowledge to the local market and expertise around mortgages, I think is key. Now, I think one of the things that you've talked about is, local is better than generic, but then you also just talked about, the nice thing about being at Cornerstone is we lend, across the country. So you're able to work with clients, in all these different states. And I talk to a lot of loan officers that the majority of their business that comes from social media is outside of their market. So could you speak to, why is local better, but then how do you also create content that is going to be attractive to those outside of your market?
Yeah, so a large part of our business is still local, but the advantage is when you talk about generic things that have to do with the home buying process or home ownership, and you post them on these platforms, anybody across the country can come across them. And that's really what's happening. So my team has a loan going right now for somebody buying in Pennsylvania. They found us on YouTube. I think it's just really that expansion of thought. I'm not saying that you should change your strategy and not focus on your local community because that is those are the relationships. That's where you can break bread when you're meeting people. That's where you can have people come by the office if they're so inclined to. And that's still so important. Video doesn't replace the human element, but it does help with the brand extension. It's really just a byproduct of the Cornerstone licensing structure together with just social media and YouTube in general. The algorithm picks up on what you're an expert in. And so some of my most watched videos on Mortgage How Do I are on FHA and second homes. So once they pick you up as an expert, then when people are searching for second homes, let's say they're like, I want to buy a second home in Seattle, then they're going to go to the content creators on the platform that are they deem to be experts, and they're going to promote your content up in the search. So that's just like another benefit of being consistent, finding your lane, talking about the things that you're passionate about that you know.
You talked about a system, you talked about staying in your lane. And I would say that's really the foundation of success in doing video is, can you be consistent with it? So what is your framework to make that repeatable?
So it's on my calendar every Wednesday. I shoot every single week. If I'm traveling or I'm on vacation, I will bundle up and shoot. I have a person that focuses on YouTube, the editing, they'll get them ready, and then they go into the can is what we call them. So then they're there so we can consistently hit that weekly commitment that we have made to the real estate community. So they're there. If I'm traveling, doesn't matter, it still goes out. If you're starting out, or maybe you started and then you stopped because you didn't see results, the number one thing I would say is it can't just be the fact that you're shooting video. You have to have a distribution strategy. So for me, I send out an email to the real estate community. That's currently about 6,000 real estate agents and loan officers. That goes out every week. And I am putting a thumbnail and embedding the video into that email. So that's the distribution mechanism. And that's where a lot of loan officers get off track because they're like, I'm posting, I'm doing, but nobody's finding you. Well, if you're new to the algorithms and you haven't solidified yourself yet and you don't have the distribution piece of the puzzle planned out, then you may be in that situation where, a lot of people aren't seeing you yet. So distribution is as important as the execution of the video. And it's also important to know that, these things change all the time. These algorithms are changing, all of it. It just changes so fast. So there's a lot of really great resources out there. I think media is a great YouTube focused coaching platform. Sean Cannell does a lot of just YouTube free information that's out there that you can go and get. But there are a lot of that type of content creators that can help you figure out the space if this is what you want to do. The other thing is a loan officer, Jay, you and I both know this. Loan officers get pulled in a lot of different directions. And a lot of times that hour on your calendar maybe gets overwritten because you're not going to make the video shooting a priority, either because you're not confident or maybe you just don't have the time or you got, something blowing up and you have to go and track it down. I can't stress enough just how important the consistency piece of this is. You can't go to the gym once or 10 times and expect to lose 30 pounds. It's that consistency over time that really builds the results.
You gave us some framework, and I love that. I believe that people need to approach this with simplicity, right? Like, can you start with one video a week? I think your encouragement of saying, hey, blast that out via email. You can do that even if you're just posting on Instagram, if you have a newsletter to your clients. you could embed that linking back to your Instagram or your TikTok, whatever you're doing, or your short form or long form video in YouTube. It doesn't have to be YouTube, like you're saying. It just, are you utilizing it? And then use your other natural distribution channels to help grow back that main distribution channel. And I think one of the things that I hear from most people is, well, I don't know what to shoot. Well, I personally think it's really easy to come up with content when it comes to being a loan officer, because you're getting frequently asked questions and you're facing reoccurring problems. Like every month, you probably have a loan that's tricky and you're solving somebody's situation. So, what I believe is people should be able to just take a log of wins and maybe even losses, and then turn those into short scripts or educational points. And with AI today, you can get an easy Claude membership and just, talk into Claude and say, hey, I need a script, and tell the story, tell the problem, tell them how you solve the solution, make that quick and tangible and laconic. Laconic is one of my favorite words. It means succinct and to the point, which Kelly's like, Jay, you're never laconic. And so I like it because it's something I try to practice. What I would say is you can give all that to, your AI chat, service, and then help you create content around that. And, we now have some tools that are really helpful for loan officers. So can you share with like what Creators Club does?
Yeah, absolutely. I loved it about Cornerstone. We had this idea. It was a crazy harebrained idea on how to help loan officers. We have some really talented loan officers at Cornerstone that are in the video space. And we were like, gosh, how can we share that wealth? How can we help loan officers embrace video content for all of the reasons that we spoke about here today? So, Cornerstone has a content creators club. And in part, what it's doing is giving you the tools you need to first learn how to frame it, execute it, content ideas, and really are there to support loan officers that want to raise their hand and say, hey, I want to extend my brand. So it's been going well. It's been, I guess, a little over a year now that we've launched that, and rave results, and it's fun. I love seeing it. I love seeing all those faces out there.
You measure success in terms of this discipline and these activities?
So one, I mean, you can look at the metrics specifically on YouTube. We look at them all the time. We know what's performing. We know what's not performing. But one of the ways that I measure success is just for my team, what's the lead count? Where are people finding us? We track everything in our CRM. So if somebody calls and they're like, hey, I saw Kelly's video on BA Jumbo or whatever, then that goes into our system. So we're able to track where our leads come from. Part of the deceptive part, especially the way that I do it with email communication, is it's also brand building. So if we've worked with, let's say we have worked with a real estate partner for many years, we continue to pour into them. Maybe it's a cross sell realtor that comes into the ecosystem that we've never worked before. Now we have a very vetted, kind of systematic process to get them to know us and get them to know our specialties. So that's really been another big pickup from all of this, is that you just don't know who's watching. You don't know who's sharing your information. We have real estate agents share with their kids or their relatives or certainly their clients a lot of this content. Or I also do a monthly video to my client database. And so that's a little bit more consumer friendly type of conversation, but it's what's going on in the market or things that people in general just have questions about that have to do with either refinancing or home financing, etc. And it's so fun, Jay, and I know you've experienced this as well, but when you've worked with somebody over the years and now their kids are buying houses and they refer them back over just by forwarding one of those videos, it's just makes it all worth it.
The measure of success isn't the lead next week or the lead next month. It's, are you building foundations that put you in the marketplace? Do I have something that's valuable to share? And if one person can benefit from it, then hey, the world is maybe a tiny bit better. I encourage loan officers to do this for multiple years, because it's going to be hard to necessarily quantify it, especially for the loan officer that's doing a lot of hyper local stuff. But where I think it's going to be impactful for people is it's going to increase their conversion when people do land with you. it's going to make a more stickier relationship because you're going to already have a lot of relational equity built in because of the work you've done prior to that consultation or that introduction, that meeting. If you're trying to grow relationships, with referral partners, if they audit you and they see, hey, look at all these videos and look at this content, look at the information you're putting out there, they're going to see you A, as generous, and B, as disciplined and a resource that has a lot of expertise because you've been committed to sharing that knowledge into the marketplace. So I think there's so much to it. I think people get caught up in like, how many views did I get? How many follows did I get? And it's just going, I making a step in moving my business in the right direction.
Yeah. I love that, Jay. Thanks for sharing that. So if you were a loan officer and you're vacillating on should I, could I, would I tried, it didn't really land. I would just really encourage you to take a step back and really dive deep into your why and then just do it. Just do it. Just start. It's okay. One step in front of the other. You're going to get better as time goes on, but create a system around it and just do it.